Despite a historic investment in education this past legislative session, many Minnesota school districts say it wasn't enough.
They are still facing huge budget shortfalls, and as Courtney Godfrey explains, when they turned to voters for help last week, more than half of the districts statewide were rejected.
More cuts are on the way here in Rochester as a district that was already struggling financially failed to gain enough support from voters for an operating levy.
This was kind of a kick in the gut.
For a district that's already slashed budgets and reduced staff by $21 million over the last 2 years, this latest is a huge blow.
It's tough. It's really, really challenging, and it is one of those times where, as I've been increasingly vocal in saying, Rochester has to decide about the aspirations that we have for kids and, frankly, the needs of this workforce.
Rochester voters narrowly rejecting a technology levy last week that would have gone towards security upgrades and online programming, freeing up money for teachers and classrooms.
It was the right proposal substantively, but just didn't quite get the level of public support that we'd hoped.
It's among 15 out of 27 districts that failed in referendum efforts statewide last week, with most of the rejection happening outside of the metro in greater Minnesota. Experts blaming a combination of lower voter turnout and inflation. Meanwhile, districts struggle amid rising costs and stagnant enrollment, all while teachers' unions, like in Rochester, are fighting for better pay.
85% of our costs are people, and getting and retaining talented people takes resources. And that's why when education funding doesn't keep up with inflation, we are just making it almost impossible to meet our mission in a sustainable way.
Now, capital project referendums did much better on the ballot last week statewide, and that's the path Rochester will be taking next year. In Rochester, Courtney Godfrey, Fox 9.